Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
I want to give an intro to you, EXti, Mr. 360 Creative. You know, you do everything, bro. You fucking music, art, fashion, gaming. Like, what are you missing at this point?
I don't know. Honestly, I just have fun. I don't take myself that serious, nor what I do. Is
Yeah.
like I say, it's not what I do, it's who I am, right? And we are always evolving. So it's just it's like a state of flow. I was like recently at Inter Stadium, the new one.
Uh-huh.
They were opening. It was like a private public training session.
Yeah.
Just to showcase the stadium before they started playing there. So they invited me there, but it was like a bunch of people there, and they got me on the microphone, on a little interview, on the entire like stadium microphone, and they were like something. They started like similar, right?
Yeah.
And to me, and all of this is to say this, to me it was like really, I don't know. I think I have TDH, is it?
TDH?
ADHD.
ADHD. Yeah.
So I have ADHD, and that's the reason why I do what I do, I guess.
That's funny. But, I mean, you call yourself custom made, right?
Yeah.
Right? What does that mean to you?
Exactly that. Like, I just, try not to, like, fit any mold. It's like, I just am, and I be building myself or doing, as I go. So that makes, like legit wise, full on one of one, and like everything I do, like art wise, music or whatever I may be doing. In the end, the spirit of it behind it, it's that, it's like, it's cool, to just be who you are. It sounds like kind of cliche, like a lot of people say that shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can I curse like that? You can
No,
beep
we
me.
don't curse in this
I only
fucking
curse
place.
in English because
We don't
there's
curse in
words
this
that I
fuck-
mean.
I'm a person that doesn't say any fucking bad words.
Okay,
So,
all right.
nah, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
There you go. Thank you very much. So it's like there's a lot of people that say that, but they don't actually embody it or live it. It's like I really live by it, and I want to encourage other people to feel like that. It's like whatever that means to you. It doesn't have to necessarily be the same thing that is for me, but it's cool to be who you are. So that's what it means. Like I'm custom made. Like I'm be making myself every single day. Right now, today, what I'm dressing, how I talk, how I conduct myself. Everything that I do, to the little detail, from the little details to the big things.
Yeah.
Me saying in front of a stadium with a huge speaker, "Hey guys, I have ADHD." I had like tons of messages, like laughing, in a good way, even,
Yeah.
because I laugh. First, I'm the first one to laugh of myself. I
Yeah.
don't take myself that serious. So that's what it is to me to be custom made, and what hopefully I want to be able to share with the rest of the people, because in the end that allows me also a big channel for happiness.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, what do you want to achieve, what do you want to do, like let's get specifics into work, music, I'm releasing this album, going on tour, doing this, what do you want to do? Like, I want to be happy.
Yeah.
Simple as that. No matter if you're an Uber driver, an attorney, or developer or whatever, I guess the goal as a human being, and this human experience should be happy.
Yeah.
So that allows me to be happy, be myself, and if there is one thing that I want to leave to other people, it's like I'm living that, so it is possible to touch happy moments, through that, like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the reality is that just being yourself is the fucking cheat code to actually being happy.
100%.
You know what I mean? Porque we're always constantly trying to make ourselves look good for someone else. We're trying to
100%.
adjust ourselves y todo eso, and like
it's part of the human nature too. And I understand, like, even what I'm saying right now, this is like my parodying, my mantra, let's say, in life, sort of. But also, I'm not a AI. I'm not a robot. I'm not an alien, though I may look like that sometimes. But so I'm not always in these, middle lane. Sometimes I'm a little bit too left, or sometimes I'm a little bit too right, and that's okay too. That's part of the journey.
No, but it's part of your journey of doing what's you and being yourself, and yeah.
But the
100%.
thing is that, you know, it's like, it's okay. It doesn't have to necessarily be always like that, you know, and understanding and acknowledging, you know, without putting the pressure on it, it's what it allows you to be happy with it, you know, and that's the only way to actually be comfortable in your own skin like that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. How long have you been now in Miami?
4 years now. I moved here February 2022 from New York, and yeah, 4 years, give or take. Coming from Buenos Aires, from Argentina, where I am from, you know, which is, I used to say like New York used to be like Buenos Aires on steroids in that sense, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm a you know, concrete jungle guy, you know, sort of. So I always, like, I used to say that, like, and I love New York. New York is, you know, has a big piece, a big important piece in my history, in my life, you know, and everything, and how it shaped me, you know, all the condiments that were there, you know. New York has a big, you know, impact, had a big impact on my life. But I used to say I would never live in Miami. Then I moved to Miami, lifing.
Yeah.
And I moved to Miami, and I was like, I'm gonna test it out, you know, and try it. I was here. I remember I drove from New York.
You drove?
Drove like 20 hours because I moved. I was at that moment in a relationship.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend at the time, she was from Argentina.
Uh-huh.
She moved with me to my house in New York. I've been living in New York for a decade.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, let's move to Miami. We moved to here, so we brought everything, you know, driving in a little truck.
Yeah.
I remember I got here, and I didn't rush it because she was from over there. We stopped in Washington. We stopped in a few, like, it was fun, you know, fun road trip. And I got here, it was February, so I left New York with snow up my knees, right? And then I get here, it's nice weather. Let's say I arrive at Wednesday night, you know, Thursday I'm here.
Yeah.
Friday I have to fly back to New York because I had shows over there Friday night, Saturday, and then Sunday I flew back in. So I drove all the way here for like 2 days or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next day, but it was one day that I was here, right, in between. Okay. That one day when I flew back to New York, I flew back with her. I remember getting in New York, looking at her and saying, fuck, we made the right move.
Okay.
And I remember that moment, crisp and clear. It was like not even snow. It was like raining. And I remember looking at her as like, yo, I want to do these shows and I need to go back to Miami. And I moved to Miami, and it was like a slap in my face. Miami was like, shut the fuck up. What are you saying?
Well, why? What do you mean? What way?
It was a good, you know, slap in my face because
okay.
I got here.
Like a kinky slap.
Yeah. That was you silly boy.
Like, no, Miami, stop.
Yeah, kind of, you know, but yeah, when I was here, I was like, damn, this is fucking cool, you know.
Okay.
I moved, you know, around Midtown area, which is kind of central and cool, you know, from the get-go. And I come from a New York mindset, you know, opposed to Miami. I was walking everywhere, walking a lot.
And then sweating your ass off.
Yes, I was, you know, but I didn't mind, you know. I was coming from, like, snow up my ass. So it was like, cool, let me, you know, I'll endure this, you know. And I might as well. I never lived in a place, you know. In that sense, Miami fucked my life. Yeah. Because I never lived in a place where it's a summertime all year long, pretty much. Yeah. And after this experience, you know, I don't think I will be ever able to live anywhere else in the world with, like, New York, back how I used to, you know, with the snow, with cold weather. I don't like cold weather. Yeah. So in that sense, Miami spoiled me. But I was here, I was walking a lot. I was like walking distance from Wynwood, from, you know, art districts, and so much culture and stuff going on, you know, in Miami when I moved here, and still that I was like, having ADHD like this and being like, I was like overstimulated, you know, and I was doing 20,000 different things. And there's nothing in my own experience that allows me or channels my joy or like enjoyment, happiness, than being able to live my days through my passion.
Yeah.
Like I really say, like I mean it. You know, none of what I do is what I do. This is who I am.
Right.
So being able to live my day to day to its fullest, or getting closer to it, it was like mind blowing. You know, I always, you know, I was blessed already to be like working with my music and, you know, being up and coming many years. You know, you jiggle with 20,000 different things. You know,
Yeah.
when I first moved to New York from Buenos Aires, and I was making music, but I wasn't living off my music yet. I wasn't making money out of that. So I have like 20,000 different jobs doing these, hustling these, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But being like fast forward, you know, many years after, and I come to Miami, and it's sort of a new scene. You know, I know some people, I know the environment and the scene. At the same time, I'm not. I'm a foreign still.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, yeah, I know these, I know that, you know, but I don't. So I'm starting to tap into all different circles, getting to know people, and there's so much going on that I remember that that was like fucking amazing, you
Yeah.
know, and I ate the whole pie, man. I was like, damn, I'm taking it all in, you
Yeah.
know, 100%.
Actually, you know, because you said, right, you're originally from Buenos Aires, and then you went to New York, Miami. But I mean, I'd love to get an understanding of your story, like how did you become EXti, like all the stuff that made you who you are now. Like walk me back, like take me back to when you were a kid in Buenos
I
Aires.
was gonna say I gotta take you all the way back.
Yeah, you need like just to like put me in that place, in that room or whatever that it was started to kind of like make all these things happen.
So
to you.
you know what's a funny story, and then I'll take you on the journey. But
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
a specific thing. You know, life is interesting sometimes with stuff like that, and I don't know why. There's really not a reason. I would say I was like 4 years old, you know, and I have glimpses of memories, glimpses of memories of that, so that I remember, and then I have my mom, you know, my family, you know, to testify that that was like to tell me that was the case like that. At some point, I was like, when I grow up, you know, when I grow up, I'm gonna be an astronaut kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say for no reason, I don't know, and I don't remember why. Obviously, maybe I saw something or whatever, but I was like, when I grow up, I will live in the United States. I didn't necessarily look up to or knew
That was
what
your
that
goal?
mean or nothing. I was 4 years old. There was no
Okay.
goals there. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I will live in the United States and I will be working, drawing caricatures in Disney.
You know what's funny?
And not that far.
You know what's funny? That's. I mean, not the United States part because I was born here, but my first thing as a kid, I wanted to be a cartoonist in Disney.
I was saying that, you know, I'm, you know, I haven't done that. I'm here and sort of drawing too, you know, so, and there is cartoons and animations there. So who knows? You know, maybe one day I say like, look, you know, little Santiago. My name is Santiago.
Yeah.
Little Santiago. There you go.
Yeah.
Who knows? But for some reason, I was like 4 years old and saying that. But one of the first memories I have, you know, it's like I will be sitting, you know, in front of the TV. Both my parents were working full time, my dad and my mom. So, and I have two siblings.
Yeah.
And my brother, my eldest brother, he's 10 years older than me.
Okay.
My sister is 8 years older than me, and then
Okay.
there's me. So, and I'm the little one, the spoiled one, the
Yeah,
spoiled
yeah.
brat. It's like
You're like me. My sister is like 8 years older than me.
so I was like, parents working. They're at that time they're entering the teenagers, you know. So I was alone a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I will be with TV. We're talking about MTV era, you know, music, cartoons, you know, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, you know, all of that, you know, era of cartoons and stuff, and music, and I will be in front of the TV with the TV in the background sometimes or whatever, and I will be drawing,
yeah.
drawing, like
Drawing what's on the TV or just drawing random
drawing,
stuff?
random, like I
Like
will
doodling.
be drawing, and I actually was pretty, you know, advanced drawing for like, a kid. I was drawing.
Did you copy things? Like, did you use something and look at it and then start drawing it out? Like, that's how I did it. Like, I used to start drawing.
I don't remember,
Okay.
because I'm talking about like 3, 4, 5, 6, like.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're talking about. Like,
I took you all the way back.
shit,
You know,
you
like
still
I'll
have
be,
the pull-ups.
I'll be seating.
diapers, like-
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'll be seating and just drawing a lot. And then fast forward a few years. I in school, like secondary school, like high school, even college. I went to college. Believe it or not. I went to college and
What'd you study?
I did marketing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm a dropout. I dropped.
Well, I'm sure you got some
kids don't do that
some
in your
gems.
houses, but I dropped with only one class pending to finish the degree. Like one class,
Wait, are
not
you
one
fu-
semester,
wait, fuck,
one class.
Are you kidding me? You had one fucking class
One
left
class.
to graduate.
Yeah. And
Why the fuck didn't you just finish it?
Sorry, ma'am.
So you said, mijo.
At that time, when that happened, I was already. I knew that my life was going in a different direction,
Right.
and I had a few moments in my life of clarity like that I can remember, like very powerful, even for the age that I had at those moments.
What was it? What is it
Like
that you
it was
knew?
a few different ones. At that moment, I was like, to me, it was like I don't really care about the piece of paper and that. I care about what I have in my mind.
Right.
So I'm very grateful that I went to study. Like I don't really give two fucks about a college degree myself.
Right.
But I do give tons of fucks about education. About So you can go in a formal route and an informal route. I don't care. I'm pro college and pro this, pro that. Anything that will give you more information, more access to more stuff, to more knowledge. It's all about your demeanor and your attitude towards it.
Yeah.
So to me, I got to a point was like I was working on TV in Argentina at that time.
Doing what exactly?
What
What were you doing in
I
TV?
did so many shit, man. I work on like soap operas, sitcoms, acting.
But what, as an actor?
As an actor, I did like
shit.
I hosted TV shows. Like
I remember
DJ,
seeing stuff like that.
hosting.
Yeah.
I did like game shows. Like I don't know, how many random stuff, man. Because I always loved to. There was like so many different things that I loved doing, and it was all sort of related. It was creativity. I remember like. And I didn't finish like in college or in high school or whatever. I never had like a notebook, una carpeta, un cuaderno, like with notes.
Yeah, notebook, yeah.
Like of teacher, even at college, where you expect to be like, all right, you'll take notes.
Right.
I didn't take notes. I will be drawing the professors. I was doing caricatures of them, but I had, at least I had a very, sharp mind in the sense of I will. They will be talking to me and I will keep it. And then when I needed something that I didn't wrote down, I had my classmates, I will just copy on the copy machine.
Yeah.
I will copy their things that they took down, plus what I heard.
Yeah.
And I will study from that, and I will be just read things once and
So you had like good like memory and stuff too.
I don't know. I had the best degree in my school. This is something that no one will actually know.
But what do you mean you had the best
Like
degree?
the
The highest like grades?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
In Argentina, when you have the highest grade, for example, in high school, they give you the honor to, at the ceremonies of the school, carry the national flag. So that was me. I was
Man, your mom must have been like, God damn it!
I had no.
You did not finish.
And then they took it off from me because I had like bad conduct.
Right.
Because I'm a hybrid. It's just like I was getting bored and I started doing silly shit,
Yeah.
So like stupid shit, it wasn't like
what?
bad,
But no, give me an example. You go, what's it?
I don't know. It's kind of bad.
I mean, if you want to share, but hey, come on, man, you gotta show me something.
There was one time I grab those highlighters, the markers, I will open them, and they have this thing inside.
Yeah, the little spongy
I'll
thing.
talk it out, I got like a bottle, a plastic bottle. I chopped it. I filled it up with water in the bathroom. I throw all of them in there, so it's a big, juicy paint.
Yeah.
I'll put it on top of the bathroom of the school, and I will sit down to wait for one of my classmates to go to the bathroom.
Oh man.
And I'm sorry, whoever I did that to.
You're like, oh damn.
Not a proud moment, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, it was just stupid, man.
Listen,
Like,
don't worry, man. I did
something.
something similar. Like, one time in grammar school, I was a little asshole. I remember this. It was like picture day. So remember, people come in, nice shirts and everything, and then in grammar school here, they give you the little chocolate milk in the carton. And so my friends, you know, his one kid is drinking his chocolate milk, and I went pop, all over his shirt.
I used to do all of the stuff, and then
Not
since
good.
I was already working on TV and stuff, I started working on TV when I was 9 years old in Argentina, drawing caricatures live on TV. I would draw you live
How
on
did
TV.
that even happen?
There was a very famous cartoonist over there called Luis Ordóñez,
Uh-huh.
and he made his career also like working on TV. Like this guy has his own exhibitions at the Louvre Museum, like
Oh, really?
big
Oh,
time
wow.
worldwide, a caricaturist, and he's from the same hometown that I am.
Okay.
And when I was about that age, he had a lot of institute schools, you know, of drawing.
Okay.
My parents took me to one of his, which happens to be my hometown where he's from. So he used to stop by there a lot. He was kind of a celebrity,
Right.
you know. And then I was 8 years old or 9, and one of the first times, you know, my grandparents from my mom's side were like their 50th anniversary of wedding, like marriage.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to give them a caricature,
Yeah.
a painting, right? So me, 8, 9 years old, around there, this guy stopped by the school. I just started there maybe a week ago or 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me on my own mindset. I request to have a meeting with him.
Oh, really?
This guy, probably in his mid-40s, I guess, at the time, or 50s, I don't know. And I request me, myself alone, a meeting with him. So this guy actually gives me a meeting at his office there in the school.
Not scared, nervous,
I
nothing?
sit down, like, big desk, or how I remember it, maybe
Yeah.
not, but, you know, big desk, you know, he's sitting there. I sit down, and it's like, Luis, I would like to hire you to do a caricature for my grandparents.
Oh, nice.
He was like, Santiago, I'm not gonna do it, but you are. So then after the class, he assigned me one of his professors, teachers there, to teach me more advanced stuff for me to be able to do that by myself.
Okay.
So he helped me do it. So I did it, right? And I did it, blah, blah, blah. And I guess, you know, a combination of my character, who I am and what I was doing,
Uh-huh.
like, stroke him or whatever, because he was going a lot to do that thing on TV. He was a big presence in that.
Yeah.
And then he started taking me with him sometimes to some of those shows. So that was like, I was playing, you know, I wasn't working, I was playing
I mean,
myself.
8 years old, going on a show to draw? Like, shit.
So I was like, he was one of the first big mentors, I would say.
Oh, wow.
Still to this day, you know.
Oh, nice.
Like, and not just from the art perspective. Like, I really look up to him, the way he conducted like art and business attached to it. You
Right.
know, the guy was doing amazing. You know, he had like schools, big schools. You know, like I don't know, so many. He had even here in Miami. You know, this is like many years ago.
Yeah.
The way that what he put together back then, you know, was like so ahead of his time with everything. I always, you know, look up to him a lot. I still, you know, a lot of blueprints that, you know, that he has been doing or has done, you know, it's stuff that I still incorporate to the way I think through, you know, some projects, you know.
Right.
So, and I was like very young. So
Can you talk to me about that? Like, what's that? What kind of process?
this,
like,
this,
what
this
would
guy
you-
had, you know, I don't know how many schools, institutes across, you know, Buenos Aires, for example.
Yeah.
Let's keep it there. We're talking about 90s, you know, 2000s.
Yeah.
So a lot of like, not a lot of like technology like today, right? And he was a celebrity, right? Or he was like his art, he's the artist, and his art, you know, people wanted to, you know, even me, you know, I love to draw and stuff. And I went there to kind of get a grasp of him,
Right.
you know, his art. But he's one person, and
Yeah.
he's doing art. You know, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's everywhere. He's worldwide. So it's like, all right, this guy cannot be everywhere.
Right.
But in order for him to scale his business wise, you know, he had to create something. So back in that time, he created a full long program, like from different, like year by year. It was like, I don't know, his school program of drawing. I don't remember exactly, but let's say it was 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, and each year it was a different program throughout the year, and then he created an entire program on probably at the time VHS. You know, he recorded the whole thing, the whole like, you know, like now you have all the master classes and stuff.
Yeah.
He did back then. He recorded, so when we get to the class, there was one teacher who's an ex-student. All of them are people that he will grab from there were ex-students that are really like super talented.
Yeah.
And he had TVs there. He will give us the lesson through TV. And then there was a teacher to be able to make sure that
Right, like to just
we
kind
will
of
get it, you know, blah, blah. And then this guy will make sure to stop by every single class, at least 2 minutes.
But that's cool though, because
So
I
he
mean,
will be on tour through the schools and institutes. Like maybe it was like 2 hours in this one, 2 hours in that one, 2 hours in that one, 2 hours in that one. His 8 hours work, you know, boom, 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 boom. So everyone saw it. Everyone got a little
piece of him,
little
yeah.
piece of him, you know. But he didn't have to like overwork himself, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's smart.
and that was back then, and he had like thousands of students.
Yeah.
Like it was like really impressive, and the way like that, then every single thing, you know, from a pencil to a piece of paper was branded and it was sold by him. You know, it's all merch. You know, I would draw on the papers I would buy from them. I will use I wasn't required to do that, but he had everything, you know. So, and then he created a platform for new talent.
Right.
There was exhibitions every year. There were like awards. There were like a whole system. He created an entire ecosystem.
That's cool.
And to me, that was like, and hearing him, the guy was like, he's an amazingly talented artist, but also to me an amazing businessman in that sense, you know.
Well, no, because that's smart. I mean, that's like people like, you know, I think of like Shepard Fairey does a lot of that. Obey
and nowadays
EXti
you start seeing a lot of that, you know. But back then, you know, it wasn't a lot to me. That was impressive to me, and not just like that format, you know, which could apply for stuff today, but the way of, you know, how his art was at the center.
Right.
But, you know, it didn't make him less of an artist to understand, to have the other side of the mindset of, you know, thinking as a business person. How could he turn that into a scalable, profitable business, you know?
Yeah.
And that is the main blueprint of what I am nowadays too.
Yeah.
Because you know a little bit about me, you know, and it's like, yeah, to me it's art, you know. I'm really raw and genuine, you know. Again, this is who I am. There's no gimmick here. But don't get me wrong, like art wise, music and fashion and gaming and art, but don't get in culture.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm just a bohemian, you know, artist that it's just for the sake of art. It is for the sake of art, because it's not for the sake of art, it's for the sake of me.
Yeah.
I cannot help not doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm always thinking, you know, also, how do I turn that into a business? How do I scale that? What else can I do? Because reality is that we live in a world where I have to pay rent, I have to eat, you know, and even in order to create projects, you know, everything cost.
Yeah.
Time cost. So, you know, if you don't understand that as a very basic, you know, thing, like really, then you're not gonna get shit done.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the first thing. But then it's like, all right, how do I, you know, utilize all of this so I can make room for me to be able to do this, which is what genuinely I am and makes me happy, you know. So I need to create an environment, an ecosystem that will enable me or allow me to do that, hopefully for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my goal, you know. So when I'm thinking business wise, it's not just out of greed or whatever, ambition and stuff, which there is ambition as well.
Yeah.
But it's just about how do I make this sustainable so I can like live this life experience, you know, through my passion and be happy, going back to happiness.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, because there's a lot of, you know, in that spec in the art world, music world too, stuff, you know. And with music, there's a lot. Like, this is commercial music, this is real music, this is like, fuck everything, you know.
Yeah.
It's like art and music and expression, it should be what it is, you know. And then, but the only slight difference is what comes first, you know.
Right.
In your mind, in your heart, in your soul.
What do you mean by that? Like when you're making it, or?
Yeah, the whole thing. Because if I'm sitting down here and thinking right now, all right, I want to make a business. How do I'm gonna create these T-shirts, you know, because this is gonna be a business. And then this ghost and yellow sells, so I'm gonna do ghost and yellow, and then I see how I create around that. That's one way, you know. I'm trying to be. I'm very visual. I'm very pragmatic when I create examples. But it's like I'm going all the way around. What's the music that it's hot right now? Well, let's do Afro. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know, because that. Wait, you know, who are you? How do you channel yourself for real? And then, once you figure that out, you know, then let's really think, how do we make business out of that? Not all the way around.
Right.
You know, so to me, it's nothing wrong about making something extremely commercial, making something like extremely mainstream, but
you think about it after the fact.
After the fact, you know, or it's like maybe it's at the same time or whatever, but it's just the concept of it, you know. This is like when I sit down with other music artists, you know, it's like, and they show me like dope music, and it's like, as a producer or songwriter or an artist myself, I musically speaking, I can like say, all right, that's, you know, to my taste, you know, because then art and everything, it's to each its own, you know, taste wise. But it's like, this is cool, this is whatever. I don't really, as an artist, when I play me music, I don't really fucking care about the music.
What do you mean? Like explain that, so I can understand what you mean by that.
So to me, you play me. I sit down with an artist, and I you know, especially like these last few years, you know, I get a lot of artists, you know, on different levels. I sit down with me, or labels, or sit down with me on you know, to consult me on the creative direction of it and stuff, you know, like that. And to me, it's like, you can play me, you know, you're a singer or you're the label, right? And you play me a dope track, and it's like, this is cool. I can say this is fucking cool. This is, I will produce this like this. I will do that like whatever, right? Opinion, whatever. But and yeah, at its core, it's what matters the most to me, because I love art, I love music, you know, everything is around music for me, even the art, everything. But when I say that I don't give two fucks, it's like, first thing that I ask them, it's like, all right, cool track, cool song, yeah. Nowadays, you know, you know, you can bring an army of super talented, also producers and writers to help shape up you know, a song, a project, and, you know, we'll get great music, and we'll take, you know, your soul, pour your soul out. But it's like, who are you? Right. Before showing me the song, tell me who you are. You know, because if you cannot tell me who you are, then you don't have shit. You know, especially in music industry, and this is my vision. Yeah. You know, like, you may have a hit song, right? And because music is like that, maybe you just sit down and you created something that is dope. You know, like undeniably dope, like great song, you know, and you may be through different many factors that have to align as well, but you may have like that big hit, you know, which is great too, but then that may be it, you know, because you got lucky, you know, which is fine, and that happens too, you know, but also that's not how you build like a career. That's not how you build, you know, business-wide talking now, right?
100%.
So when they show me like great music and stuff, and they start playing me one track after another, I hear 2-3 tracks, and it's like, all right. So like I hear music, right? I hear 1, 2, I see what they're doing, you know, I can see the potential of it. what it is, what it could be. I hear it, but then it's like, cool enough. I don't. Great, you have music. It's like, who are you?
Yeah. You know what's funny? Because that part that you're talking about right now, I think it's, especially now, is probably one of the most important things that as an artist you have to be thinking about. Because like you said, you can have a dope ass song, amazing music, and people connect with it and they'll love the music. But sometimes if you want to build that career, you have to have people love who you are, and they want to just be part of your tribe, be part of your crew. And that's going to come with really being able to know who are you.
It's your whole identity.
Exactly.
You're not selling a song, it's the identity behind it. That's why, you see also even like big artists, struggling to get the next hit, or getting like 20,000 different producers and writers and stuff, and working nonstop to get the next hit, which is also, due, you still need to put in the work. To record, to create music all the time, but it also is like chasing that rabbit, But I think it comes first, Sometimes like it is what it is, that you got to a point before you were ready, maybe.
Yeah.
It still is a blessing you got to that point, but now you're playing catch up. But the thing with finding that identity, it's that you cannot rush it. No one can do it for you. There's no team that can make that for you.
No.
Like even you're like no one, just the artist. The one that is expressing himself, and it's very attached to the person as well. It's a personal journey, the professional journey, and sometimes that may take 10 minutes. I've met 18-year-old guys that
they know exactly who they are,
fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
And I've met like 50-year-old guys or girls, women that don't, so in my case, it took me a full journey. You were asking me about EXti, and I feel like EXti, that's me. It's me. This is who I am. And I'm happy through it. But it took me a journey. And you've seen a few different shades of me.
That's what I was gonna say, because I know you from your music, and then throughout certain iterations, I started to see the artist, the in terms of the artwork and everything else. And I feel like at that, as a person seeing you, that's when I feel like that I saw who EXti is now, because now it's like taking these different worlds that you had in different pockets, probably that you were putting out in those individual lanes, and then kind of combining it all together. Because that's when I feel like, all of a sudden I started seeing it in your music videos and starting to see all the different things that you were doing to kind of present that, and that to me was like, okay. But I don't know if that's the case in your end.
It is 100% the case, but that was just like a consequence, a natural consequence of my human journey.
Yeah.
Of me, things shaping me up, and in my personal life, in my personal journey, my professional journey, and my artistic journey, that were coming all together. Things were happening here and happening here and happening here as I was moving forward in the timeline. And it was me processing that whole thing. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it took me many years. And I can say right now, and I will continue to evolve. And everyone continues to evolve all the time. But it took many things, to come together in my life for me to understand who I am. And it's not about my art.
Yeah.
It's about me, the person. In my case, the artist and the person, there's no persona.
Yeah.
Like, I am this. I talk like this. I talk how I sing, how I write, the humor that I have in my songs, And I write for other people. I write other types of songs, of music. And it's like when I write for me, for example, I find it very hard to be able to collaborate with another songwriter. Top line in melodies, music, arrangements, this, that. Amazing. Every day, all day. But lyric-wise, because the tone, the narrative that I have, this is my voice.
Yeah.
It's how I speak. It's my humor. It's how I laugh about myself, about life, about stuff, And it's very hard, for me to, or it's been, for example, very hard for me to find. So I find stuff that I like. People that's like, that's fucking great. It's dope. That line, it's killing, but it's not really me,
Yeah.
And when I get on stage right now and sing my songs, it's a different monster.
Yeah.
And I've done it. I've come from a world, I collabed with a lot of people. I had, you know, some momentum with music before, stuff with stuff that I collaborated and did it. And with the projects, for example, that I work nowadays, it's a whole different monster.
Yeah.
And I am a whole different monster on stage, for example. But this just comes from being genuine. It's raw, it's real, and it doesn't have to be for everyone. It's that. Going back to that, everyone tries to fit. It's a human nature thing.
Yeah.
We all try to fit. Somehow, you know, we want to be liked. We're social beings. We want to be part of, you know, not being part of, being left out or not being in the group. It's sometimes it's scary, you know. And then when you realize that everything that you do in all your life, you know, how you conduct yourself, walking in the street or whatever, it doesn't necessarily have to be for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, who are great about that normally? Two groups of people, kids.
Mm-hmm.
And very old people.
Yeah,
Don't give
100%. 100%. That's why I think
those
like
two extremes, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Like amazing. The kids are not thinking about that, you know. When we come to this world, we don't have a lot of those things. They're like put in us, you know, by context, and when we're about to leave this world as well, it's like. Who the fuck cares? You know, I'm about to leave this world. Fuck you. Fuck you and you.
You know, it's so fucking true because I sit there all the time and I look at like the little old guys or women that they're like 80 years old
and they dress however they like.
They dress however they fucking want.
They maybe just get off the bed and it's like, I'm gonna go like this.
Yeah.
And it's like
they give zero fucks. They just comfortable, whatever. They don't give. They don't care.
To me, the only thing that I have is there is this red thin line to me, which is it comes from the values how I've been, you know, raised, which is like not hurting anyone,
right.
You know, at least knowingly. You know, it's like I'm doing with my actions, I'm doing something that it's like I'm taking advantage of you, hurting you, whatever. In general, like
right.
People I like, people I don't like, like anything. You know, other than that, that's my red thin line. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what position, no matter who you are, no matter who he is, she is, or whatever, we are all going through the same human experience, and we are all fucked up. Yeah. We are all like figuring shit out. Once you really, I mean, you can understand, but once you really have incorporated that, you can sit at any table and talk to anyone, in any level, in any situation, and take away pressure of trying to be who you are not and should be. Because then if you're judging me because of what I'm telling you, that's your problem, that's not mine. And if you decide that, you know, you don't like me around you or whatever, then it's because you're not meant to be around me.
Yeah.
You don't have to be.
Yeah, you know what's funny is like, it might sound very woo-woo to say this, but I really do believe that there's like, you know, we bring out energy. So when you're 100% yourself, your energy is different than when you're fucking completely someone like
thousand times, bro.
And it just makes it so much fucking easier. Like I think that's why, like even for, and you tell me, like you know, as artists, certain artists will feed off of someone else's energy because. And then they'll know if they want to kind of, if they're cool to be in their orbit or not, because if they come off weird or awkward or whatever. And it's sometimes because you're just fucking overthinking shit.
100%.
It just, and it's like the biggest thing that it sounds so simple, but it's this idea of that you just got to be yourself. And it's just getting to that moment. And you said it, like there's people that never get there. But, you know, and I do think that it's important. And one of the things I wanted to ask you is that you said you got to it, right? You got to that moment.
I feel like I got to a big extent of it. And still, again, I'm a work in progress.
No, we all are. But what was the thing, like, if you look back, when was it that you felt that you started to be like, okay, this is...
It was many moments, but I guess, like... I was talking about, you know, recently in the beach, a friend of mine, she's an artist, a visual artist as well. She was going through some personal stuff, you know, and we were talking. And I was like, you know what, in this life, you know, the biggest teacher, it's it's actually, those big hardcore moments that we go through, like those big not kinky slaps, big fucking live slaps, slapping you in the face moments. Other than those, then it's gradual. It's a gradual ladder,
Right.
But then there comes those moments from time to time. Sometimes people get it more often. Sometimes people get it less often.
Yeah.
But there is those moments that really kick you in your balls. Those tend to be the biggest teachers. And then, however you use those, because there's people that really learn of those, and evolve and hear them out. And sometimes other people that they get more on the emotional end, or caught up by by the outcome of that. And and I get it, it's hard moments, it's hard, but I feel like those moments, succession of those moments, if you look back probably in your life and stuff, the biggest moments where you like take big leaps, are those, so to me and my own personal journey, it's been those moments. Every time that I look back, and it's like, all right, in this moment I really understood a lot of things, they were those, and it's different moments. I guess you keep going through those until you learn the lesson that moment is supposed to teach you.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're open to share, like an example?
Yeah, I can share everything. So there were like two specific, now this is the Cancer side of me. I'm a Cancer, emotional, romantic, for everything.
I'm a
King of broken hearts.
Listen, I'm a Sag. We kind of go with the flow.
Yeah. So my last two relationships.
Yeah.
One lasted like 4 years, and the other one lasted like 15 minutes. And it was something of that. But both gave me, for different reasons, like big lessons.
Right.
So first relationship out of those two, the last two ones, when I entered that relationship, I was in a high moment, self-esteem wise, personally and professionally. I felt like very wholesome. I was making like a lot of money, with my work. I was touring. I had a song that was going viral and number one in different countries, and I like on different levels. I felt like,
yeah. You're fucking doing like a little thing with your chest, like, hey, pop, pop.
Yeah. It's like one of the mirrors, like,
like flexing, and man, like, what's up? Ooh, look at you, motherfucker.
It's like kind of those moments. I walked into a relationship like that, and that relationship became like one of my probably very toxic one of the most toxic relationships I stepped into, and it was a big lesson for me. Not about so much the other person, for her it was her journey, right? And I still have a lot of love and affection for her, and that's water under the bridge, the story that we lived, and her journey was her journey.
Yeah.
And her lessons that she needed to learn as well. On my end, that relationship and the things that I went through and that were my lessons. And this is what I was a little bit of what I was saying before, that people either focus on, I could focus on the other person, the dynamic, this and that, or I could choose to focus on what was that teaching me about myself, because that in every dynamic, where you're involved, you are involved.
Yeah. So
there was a big chunk of it, like it or not, that it's my responsibility, it's my energy, it's my dynamic, So I was in that mix. So there was, a big factor that I needed to understand and learn.
Is that the song that inspired El Pacto, or?
Yeah, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. That relationship inspired a lot of that album. That album came, I say it in the intro of that album, this is not music, this is my therapy.
Yeah.
These are not songs, these are band-aids. Nowadays my gallery space is called Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And the heart, that's why I'm saying, I told you before, there was a lot of different elements throughout my life, on the personal end, on the professional end. Because on the personal end, that was like, I was like putting headphones, I have synesthesia. I hear music, I see colors, and I paint through that, even if I do a sneaker, guitar, a canvas, a wall, a building, I improvise like that. That's sort of my process that I like.
I want to go back to that because I don't think, I had a conversation with my son the other day. He's like, I see colors, and I was like, maybe you have this, and then now he swears he has that.
Okay.
But can I go? Just sorry, guys. I was gonna ask you something about this because you said a couple things. You have these big moments that are the things that you feel really are what kind of help define and who you are and really kind of uncover those things, right? And like you said, like El Pacto being one of those like examples of that album being therapy. Do you think that as an artist, you have to have those big moments to make your best art?
Yeah, 100%. Because it's not about the art; it's about the person again.
It's just about the experience yeah. Okay.
It's otherwise it's empty. It's not real. It's not. Again, me, and I remember when I presented that album, and there was a lot of songs that came from that. Actually, from both relationships that I'm talking. I remember like doing on the show. I was like, hey guys, when you talk to a crowd, it's like, hey, these songs, this show is not for you, for none of you. Thanks for coming though, but it's not for you. Like these songs of this show is for me. I'm doing it for myself, and I want you to know that because I may look like an alien, but I'm not, And if these songs help me navigate, express myself, and communicate with myself, and and I'm a human being living a human experience, there's a big chance that some of you may connect with me, with who I am, and these also may then be for you.
Yeah.
Now I encourage you to go and do whatever the fuck you want to do for yourself. The rest comes after.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. I paint every single canvas I paint because it's a canvas I would like to hang on my wall.
Yeah.
I create sneakers, I create fashion because
you
it's
make
stuff
for
that I
you.
would like to wear. Now then, going back to the business before, then it comes, from the art perspective, how that translates to you. And then from the business perspective, how do I turn that into a business to the audience, to the public, to the consumer. But first, and I still do it like that nowadays, I do stuff for myself. I'm soon to release a new album, or depending when this is coming out, the album is already out, I don't know, or whatever. But the thing is, like, this was an album it was music that I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And that, for example, as I was saying, the relationships on those big slap moments on the professional side, after the fact, and COVID happened and lockdown, and I got stuck overseas, out of New York, and I worked my ass off throughout the years to climb the ladder up, on business-wise, professional in my career. And once you get that, a breakthrough moment of sort in music, which, that it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Not sometimes, all the time.
It's hard.
And I got this breakthrough moment. That breakthrough moment really, goes to shit. So it doesn't necessarily. It doesn't go to shit, but it doesn't necessarily go the way that I would.
Yeah, as
imagined,
expected.
And then life happened. COVID, these, that. So contracts went down. These, that is like. I busted my ass throughout many years to achieve this, and the moment that I kind of you're about to touch it, and you get and you slip it, and it's like so close to the sun kind of moment.
Yeah.
And I wasn't depressed, but then at the same time, this thing was happening with me in my personal life as well, and there's a lot of different elements. And I remember I found comfort and again, my therapy. I would put my headphones on and be painting, because it would take me away. It was my therapy. I wasn't doing because I was pursuing anything with it. It was just for the sake of doing it at the moment. That was the goal.
Right.
And that I did it so much because I channeled myself, which was already me.
Yeah.
That then going back to the energy that you put out there, the way that comes out when you're real, I guess it was so much then something magical happened, which is, after many years of doing music or, building careers and doing that, you tend to, even nowadays, you create something and then you bring it to the world. You try to make room for it to be heard, to be seen, and you bring it to the world. It's an active energy, like this way, right? So when I was started painting and doing all of that with that raw energy, I wasn't bringing it out. It was from me to the inside. And then it was magnetic. Like it blew over my head. So it was like this. Boom. Heavy and strong. And that was like another slap in my face. I was like, wait. And I remember, this wasn't just a moment. It was a period of time, right? Like shaping up and evolving as my personal life was happening, stuff. And I was channeling this. And that was a raw energy that then ended up being magnetic and allowing me to connect with myself. So it happened in my personal life. It happened in my professional life. It happened on my romantic life. It happened on all different things. It's like a big fucking ball.
It's funny too because you said, that theme of just when you do things for yourself and it being magnetic, it's like you hear it in all these themes, like even when you talk about relationships, because every time, how many people when they say that, no, I'm looking for a man, or I'm looking for a girl, I want to get married, I want to have a baby, all this shit, and then all of a sudden, when they're trying too hard to do it for someone else, they're fucking struggling. But when they just sit there and all of a sudden just focus on themselves and just doing their own things and being happy, it comes naturally.
It sounds cliche, but it's real.
It's fucking real. It's fucking real as hell. But look, I gotta go back because I wanted to go talk, get a little understanding about your creative process because, like I said, you tell me, explain, because I don't think a lot of people know this, right? That it's a condition, right? It's something that is it happens naturally. My understanding, it's related to like DNA and genes. Like someone in your family has it. Like what's it called again? When you could see colors and
so the specific one is chromasthesia.
Okay,
but that's the intersection, between the hearing, and seeing colors.
Right.
So synesthesia, which is how
that's the way I
presented. It's emotional one because synesthesia is when you cross more than one sense. I don't know. You hear something and you smell. It could be like different senses. Then there's a specific ones. So chromasthesia is a type of synesthesia. So it's more commonly just said as synesthesia.
Yeah.
So I have synesthesia, and in my case.
By the way, sorry, I was gonna say it's just so people know because it's something that has high correlation with very specific creative people. Like Pharrell has it, Kanye has it, right? And so I just wanted people to know that it's something that it's found, rare, but it's found in people in very creative communities. So
I guess, it's just a consequence, right? Like the people that are maybe they put out art and then they get known and it's they have it. But the thing is, like, to me, and there's another thing that I barely talk about it, but it also happens with me. It happens with me with music and colors, and it happens with me with people as well.
Okay.
With people,
I see colors array on people.
Color, I can see you in a color, and this is the thing, when I hear music and I see colors, and this is for people on the side. You can think I'm crazy because I am a little bit crazy, but the thing is, it's not that I'm seeing, a floating color. It's not that I'm like, Mr. Burns, hey, I bring you peace, vibe.
Like you smoke a nice blunt and you be like, oh fuck, or trip out, and then you see you start turning elephants flying.
It's not necessarily like that, and I cannot choose what color I see or the shades or stuff. It's not like let's bring it towards these, colors. It's like it just happened and it's not static. It fluctuates, but I hear music and chords like the same way that, maybe this is like even better, easier to understand for more mass of people. You hear chords and it brings emotions. I'm not just talking songs, like just the chords. Minors and major type of chords that bring you to different vibes, emotions. Which is also related. It's not detached from synesthesia and everything. It's kind of like that. Now imagine that same thing. You cannot express it. You're not seeing the emotion. You're not feeling the emotion. Right? Because you're not sad, but you're hearing it and you feel the sadness in that. Right?
Yeah.
And you feel it. It's not just you're hearing it, but it's not such thing as a sad sound.
Yeah.
So there is a mixture of that there. It's the same thing with that, So it's like I'm not seeing the blue color, but I close my eyes and I get in touch with the sound. It's the same way that you're feeling that sadness or the happiness or the, you know, that moment like that. Same thing happens with me with the colors. Like this is like sound. It sounds yellow. You
Yeah.
know, this sounds like orange now, and this sounds like, and it takes me like in that journey. But it's so clear to me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's like it's very, very, very raw, clear. You know, the same way that you can. This is I think the first time that I use this as an example, but I think it's a good one. That one. The same way that you the sounds you related to emotions, but I know the emotions itself, but it's the most similar thing that there
Yeah,
is,
you feel
and
it.
that's the power of music, right?
Yeah, it's a sense. Yeah,
Same thing is with me with colors, and then I channel that to create. You know, that's just because I chose to. It's not that, you know, my hands start moving by its own, you know, when I hear music, but it's like, and then there's a combination. It's not just like abstract that I hear music and I start like throwing colors, right? You know, I decide then, you know, I use that as an inspiration, you know, like any other inspiration. Maybe seeing this microphone may inspire me. Same thing. I channel the music. Sometimes I tap way much more into it. Sometimes I tap way less, you know. But what I really love is when I can really like dive into it and create through that,
yeah.
you know, and it's very visual in that sense, you know, and that's why to me like music and art are like, and people ask me, hey, what do you like more, like music, doing music or doing art, you know, or the favorite question that they ask me, maybe you are going to ask me, but if you could like, if you had to like dismiss one of those, you know, you couldn't do it anymore and you have to only stick to one, what would you do? Would you paint or would you do music? It's like I can't conceive one without the other.
It's
You
hard to,
know,
yeah.
and in my specific case, even more, I can't conceive one without the other. Everything I do, music is at the spine, you know, of everything I do. Like I wake up, I put music to, like if I'm not talking to you, I'm listening to music, have music, like I'm like music head.
Yeah, yeah.
I be creating, singing, writing, or listening to it.
Yeah.
Music. And everything else I do in my life, it's channeled somehow at some level with through music. So, and specifically talking about painting and art, let's say the main process that I love to create or use to create my art is through music. So I cannot conceive art without music. And now about my music, when I'm writing music and when I'm creating music, every single time I write, this is my way of writing. Going back to what I was saying on lyrics, for example, I try to, or I like organically go to like paint you a picture of my lyrics. There's people that write one way, metaphorically, these, that, different styles. You know, my way, my stuff, I'm very colloquial, like down to my day by day kind of vibe, how I speak, you know. But it's very visual. I will paint the picture. I wouldn't just tell you the story and stuff. I will tell the story through images.
Right.
But because that's what I am seeing when I'm composing and producing and writing, right? So, and then I'm seeing what I'm wearing or the fashion of it and the colors of it, you know. So I cannot detach also like the me creating music from the visual aspect. You know, it's like I can't. You know, it's like it will be a one-leg, you know, project, song, album, anything, you know.
I mean, they all feed each other, right? I mean, it's kind of hard, like you said, it's hard to do that. Like, what for you is the most intimidating part of the process when you're creating something? Like, I give you an example because, you know, you hear artists say it. I know, for example, you know, as a kid and whenever just like trying to make art and do stuff, to me, the most intimidating thing was the size of a canvas. I see there and it's like, oh shit, it's overwhelming, it's intimidating. Is there anything in the process that intimidates you, like when you're making something, whether it's just it's blankness or I don't know?
Not really, honestly. Like, it's, you know what it is.
It's like riffing for you.
I face everything that I start doing not with an expectation.
Right.
You know, that happens, you know, that thing that you just said, you know, the challenge comes from the expectation because it's like, this painting has to come out great. these I remember one time that again I'm saying everything I'm saying is like the general mode, but I have moments and everything.
Yeah.
There was like one moment I have in my gallery here, hang the guitar, that it was a gift from Stevie Wonder to Bob Marley.
Oh, that's right. I remember you told
Bob
me.
Marley gave it to Cat Moore, which was like it's the lead singer and guitarist of Third World, and he was a sessionist guitarist for Bob, and he used that guitar to record I don't know how many songs or albums from Bob Marley, and then it was Bob's, and then eventually Bob ended up giving it to Cat. Cat's son, he collects my art, and he gave me that guitar. It's like, hey, I want to commission you to paint it because I design guitars and stuff, right?
Right.
I want to commission you to paint it, turn this into a canvas, and might as well. I love Bob Marley. I love those songs. I love the music. The stories behind it, the history of that. I was like, and I had it in my hand. It's like, this is a fucking historic piece.
Yeah.
Fuck. And I had it for a month. That was the only time I can remember, because then we go to what I just said. I had expectations of it.
Right.
Like, this is one of one. This is not a canvas I'm gonna throw if I don't like or whatever, which actually never happened to me. Like, and I'm gonna tell you something in a minute about that. I don't have like a canvas that says, I don't like this.
Right.
I don't have a song that says, I don't like this. I have things that I like.
Well, it's
more or
kind of like a
less.
child, right? You think of it like a child.
So to me, it was like, that was one moment that was like, fuck, how do I gotta be sure of what I'm going to start doing, because I cannot undo it. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna wipe it. So it took me like a month until one day, I still didn't know what I was gonna do, because my process is like, I don't really think before. And I was like, fuck it, you know, bro, every single thing you've done, me talking to myself, you end up loving it because it's your true self-expression of it. So it is what it is, and it could be better, worse, whatever, like it or not. It's not about that. Just approach it like that. So one day I was like, oh fuck, I'll do it, and I did it. You know, it's just I just did it like that, and there it is. I love it. Could have been like this, could have been like that, could have, yeah, 20,000 things. But it wasn't until the day that I had no expectations about it. So the thing about what's challenging, the challenge that you feel is because you feel like some sort of fear or whatever, that comes from the expectation that you put towards it, you know.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I do shit like I don't care. I care a lot about everything, but at the same time I don't take it that serious, and I don't have an expectation even what I do. Yeah, I'm doing music for my album. This song may be fucking dope.
Yeah.
This song, I like it. I don't know. Or I'm painting. I need to create a new collection, you know, because I do exhibitions.
Yeah.
I need to create a new collection. All right, let me sit down to do. If I don't like something enough after for what I want to curate, then whatever. It does happen, and now going back to what I said, it does happen to me often though. As I am doing something, I may come, not always, but I may come to moments where it's like, this is not coming together how I sort of envision I will like it. I don't know.
So what do you do in that moment?
I don't know if what I'm doing I like it. You know, I find those moments like pretty often, not always, but pretty now and then often, with art, with fashion, with everything, with music. But then it's like, and most of it with painting, with art, and this is like little parenthesis on that. Same thing on my personal side. You know, I'm a very positive person. For the most part, I'm a happy idiot. That's how I call myself.
I love
I'm a
that.
happy idiot.
A happy idiot. That's like a brand right there.
Yeah,
Happy idiot.
Happy idiot.
That's
Yeah.
a good brand, bro. Oh man.
So, but I have moments, you know, everything I said, like these, like that. Don't get me wrong. I have moments where I've been stressed or whatever, preoccupied, and I have very dark moments sometimes. And over the time, I learned. You know, you fight them, right? It's like I feel down. It's like, I'm gonna do this to cheer me up. Bro, you can with this. You know, boom, boom, boom. That's the normal demeanor. Try to, if you want to remain positive or a positive person, the normal demeanor to go at it. I understood that I had to go all the way around, opposite to that. Like if I feel like that, I don't fight them. It's like
You accept it.
I'll accept it. It's like I'm feeling like shit. Let's make it the fucking worst day of my life. It's gonna be a shitty thing, you know.
Okay.
But I just let it be. You
Right.
know, it's like whatever. I just let it be because what I know in the back of my head is that that's not who I am, and I know that I will bounce back to the happy idiot always because to all of these things that I've been talking about, I'll bounce back to that because these are lessons that I've learned that I know. So then it's like I'm confident enough to let that be because it's like you have a dog on a leash, or you have a dog that you can let it be, that it will come back here.
Yeah. Do you meditate?
I used to, and nowadays I don't in a formal way. I guess like my art or when I'm creating art is some sort of
That's meditation.
for me.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like I know that I will bounce back to who I am. So then I don't fight it, because it's like I may have a bad day, bad 2 days, a bad week, which I don't know if it happened, but I will get back to it and I'll go back to who I am. So with my art, it's the same.
Okay.
When I encounter those moments, it's like, yeah, this is that. It's not looking that great. Fuck, am I fucking it up? Those thoughts. Then it's like, bro, you're good. Look around. You like what you do. If you do, keep going. So I push through that.
So you don't stop. You keep going.
I keep going.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily means that I know what I'm doing in the moment, but I trust myself that I come to the other side every single time. And I do the same thing with projects.
Yeah.
This is what happens, to most of people. This is a hard project. Most of people, like I would say 80%, they don't even start it because it's like...
Yeah, because
scared.
they overthink it.
They're scared.
Yeah.
They're thinking scared, they don't even start it. Then I would say 18% or 19% of the remaining, they do start it. They go through it. But in the middle or towards the end or whatever, when those moments come, there's like, fuck, I won't get to the other side, and they don't.
Yeah.
Or because they stop, or because they get caught up in that feeling or vibe. And then there is that 1%, I guess, that is like either they didn't have that or they didn't give two fucks about the feeling, and it's like I'm gonna see this through.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. Last year I was like, I came back from Tokyo. I was in Japan in March, and I said, because of my personal things and everything I've been doing, it's like, all right, it's time. I'm gonna put out a full album.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do 18 songs. I have 1 month to finish all the. I didn't have the songs, and then I'm gonna do a vinyl, and then I'm gonna do these, and then in the middle is like I'm gonna build a gallery, and in 2 months or in a month or whatever. It's like people were like, "You're fucking insane."
Yeah.
Like, maybe I am, but
How do you manage your time in that?
And I start doing it, boom, 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 and I'm doing it, and it's like, and then over the time of the course of last year, I have friends, like close friends. I was like, bro. And then many other things happen. Like, bro, now every single time you come to me and you tell me some crazy fucking idea that if anyone else would tell me, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I see them as like, yeah, sure. You tell me that and I believe you.
Yeah.
Because I believe you're gonna, I don't know how the fuck, but you're gonna end up doing it if you tell me that. And that's how I think of myself. It's like, I'm gonna do, don't get me wrong, there's still stuff that I don't succeed in doing.
Right.
I'm not perfect. I'm not like, yeah, this guy's almighty. No, it's not about that. But it's about, going all the way, and understanding that that's the way.
Yeah.
So, but then, the percentage of what you do achieve and what you do conquer and do, like, raises a lot, so it's like, it's significantly higher.
Yeah.
And that's, how I can, when I feel like that when I'm doing a piece, it's like, bro, keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. And at the end, it's like, wow, what I was doing was in the right direction.
Well, I was gonna ask you, like, when do you know when it's done? Because that's the hard part.
It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
So to me, like painting wise, it's the same thing with music and stuff, because you can keep on tweaking, mixing, doing this, that.
And some people do, right?
And then it's like, to me, I can always add more, right?
Yeah.
You can always do something more, something else. With art, with visual art, or fashion or whatever, I am like, all right, this feels enough. It feels enough in two different ways. It feels enough in what I'm seeing, the color, the balance, I see this color there. It's not asking me for something else. It's more like a dialogue between the piece and me inside. It's done on that, and it's done also in the process, because I go back to, I do that because that's my therapy. I channel that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm done with the piece. Like, I don't need, like, this piece cannot give me anything else. I don't need anything else from it. That's it. So then there's those two things, that when it happens, sometimes it's like a lot. My art pieces tend to be a lot. They're very heavy.
Yeah, they're elaborate.
So because maybe I use them a lot, but there's that. And then on my music, it's sort of the same thing. I could keep on going and going and going and going. And I decided to not overthink it. In the end, I prioritize real, like, what if it sounds good to me, I would hear it. I would sit down and listen to that song, and I could enjoy it. That's it. I used to not be like that. I used to overthink it way much more. It's like, what if I do this arrangement? Maybe if I create a silence here and this arrangement, then especially with arrangement, I could do like, or with lyrics, I can polish these much more, There is that school of like, he record that song 140
like 50
times.
takes, 100 something takes,
Bro, like I'm not like that. To me, if it comes real, I will listen to that, and that's it. I don't want to overthink it, because then, it's very easy to get lost within yourself,
Right.
And then it's just like, you get in that process, that moment where it's like, what I'm doing, is that right? I remember it's like, well, will people like this? Maybe it should be better mixed. Maybe I'm not hearing something.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's like, do you like it? Good.
Yeah. Did you ever get scared of overdoing it? Like while you're doing it? Like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, like I don't know, like sometimes you can be someone that knows that you have a tendency to do like 100 takes, and then you be like, fuck, I'm like, I don't even want to touch it anymore because I'm scared that I'm going to keep going down.
I used to overthink it. I used to overthink stuff like that. I used to overthink, like, now with music, right? Exactly that. I will keep on like finding, maybe if I rewrite this line, maybe if I do this arrangement, and I try it and stuff, and maybe it's cool, but it doesn't really change it. So sometimes I prioritize the feeling to me, and I prioritize the feeling to me. Like this last album that I just did it myself. At least I enjoy it. I didn't send to no one to give me no opinions. Like, I enjoyed it, then I'll show it. It's like, you gotta do stuff for yourself. Like, going back to that. Everything else comes after. And if it's genuine and real, chances are there may be people like that. So we'll connect with that. The thing is, like, how do you nurture, and that business wise, how do you nurture and create, an ecosystem that it's for that crowd, maybe bigger, huge, humongous, or more niche, it doesn't matter. But how do you create an ecosystem that you can, host that ecosystem? If you manage to hack that, then you feel real, raw, and that will connect. That's my train of thinking. But even if it's not a train of thinking, at the end, I understood, that I don't want to do stuff that I am not enjoying. So I will do music that I like, and if I like it, great. It's enough.
Yeah. Well, what's cool about that mindset too is that, especially in your case, because you mentioned about the commissioned work, right? You also have done work for Juanes' guitar and Carlos Vives, right? And you're doing things with brands, where sometimes they have expectations,
I
right?
remember like one example of that. Like I did a radio network station, a big one, and the director of the radio, because of my music side, they know me, they rotate my music, and they wanted me to create like it was not me creating the headquarters. We were already done, the studios and everything. It was like this here, but it's like, you know, come on, I'm you know, create installations, like bring this to life with, you know, whatever, right? And I was like, his name is Juano. Juano is like, Juano, ask me what you want, so I don't do it. It was like that. Ask me whatever you want me to do, so I don't do it. And like he was laughing. He was like, because he knows, like, bro. Of course, there's moments, specifically when you work with brands, corporates, and stuff. It's not like, yeah. But I get inspired by you. In that case, corporate, when it gets corporate, it gets a little bit trickier. You know, there's a lot of guidelines. If I can make these fall within me, I do it. If not, I don't.
Right.
Unless you come, you know, I can, you know, prostitute myself, and, you know, if you know, bring a big load of cash, maybe I'll do it.
Right. Like, well, you know what? Fuck it.
You know, we all have a price. You know, everything that I'm saying, you know, can go to waste. You know, for the right price.
Yeah.
So I don't care about the archive. So the thing is, I would say, you know, of course, I get inspired by your color palette, but, you know, the stuff. But the same thing I do when commission. If you ask me for fashion or for art pieces and stuff, if you come to me to ask me commission me an art piece, which happens a lot,
yeah,
and you tell me, hey, bro, I would like you to do a star in this corner, write this here in that section, and put like a blue thing there because they're commissioned me to do it. It's like, and it's fine. I'll say like, that's great. I can do that. Like skill wise, I can do that. But I am not gonna do that. I can refer you to someone that can do that for you.
Right.
You know, because
they're looking for a designer. They're not looking for an artist.
To me, if you come to me, it's because you fuck with my art, you know, or with who I am, or some extent or level, and I'll create something for you.
Yeah.
I'll consider you. You like a star, that phrase, and that blue. I use that to get inspired. Same way I use music, or this and that, you know. But then let me see how we interpret that. Maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe it doesn't, you know. I need to create freely.
Yeah.
Same thing happens when I'm working with corporations or with brands, you know. It's like, I'll get inspired by you. Throw everything at me. You throw, like, it actually helps me for me to get inspired. So it's great. It's elements that I use. But if you're going to ask me something specifically, it's a different type of gig, you know. And then I got to consider if that's something I want to do or not or whatever, you know. Sometimes, you know, business-wise, maybe talking about big projects and corporate and stuff, is like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not me, or maybe I'll set some of my team to do this. I'll take care of that. I'll still collect the check, you know, and be able to utilize that to keep on building everything that I do.
Yeah.
But I work like that. Like now, for example, this is a great example. Something else. I'm building right now Billboard Argentina's headquarters here in Miami, and the entire space, it's like they pretty much, you know, to some extent, but pretty much have given me the keys. And it's like,
have fun,
you know, pretty much, right? Because, but it's not that they asked me, they told me this space has to be functional for these things.
Right.
So then it's like, all right, so based on these things, you know, and there is also a designing team on the run, you know, it's for me that I coordinate with.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's like, all right, to be functioning for this side, this is what I think, you know. And then on top of that, then I'll be doing as I go. And I improvise, which is very highly uncommon, especially at this point. Yes, we're talking about building a whole thing from the ground up. So it's like, where have you seen that you get a full office architecture-wise, like built, improvising it? And,
no, I mean,
especially talking like large project, a lot of money, and yet, you know, I've been blessed, you know, with, for example, relationship like they've been amazing in that sense, because they have let me be for real. But now, the result of that, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know, now the result of me conducting that in a different way probably would have been great still, because I have confidence in what I can do with my hands, with my mind. But this is mind blowing. And that's because I think like for everyone else, when they tapped into the work like that, they say, yeah, let me get inspired. But if I'm here, if you're entrusting me to do something because you think I'm the best fit to do this, hopefully. And if that's the case, let me do it. Yeah. And I'll give you my fucking best. That's who I am. If I get into something, I'll give my best. And that's when magic happens, So for everyone, I encourage them as well to be like that. It's like, try to maneuver situations when you work where you can, but you gotta be honest with yourself first. You gotta be already in that place where you're true to yourself. If you are already able to be true to yourself and create like that in whatever aspect of life you are, then try to maneuver situations in a way where you can, make that happen like that, in work-wise, in work environments, you're a creative working in a company, right? So it's like, all right, they trust you to do your job, because if you're in that position, it's because they trust your job. Now, the more you do and the more success you have, like success stories and what you do, the more they're going to trust you. So the more I create, the more it's like, oh, it has that wow factor. It's like, all right, we can let him do it because we trust he's going to do another one of all of those that he has done.
Yeah.
Sort of the same thing, right? So work towards being able to create that freedom, and that's what I try to build, because the more freedom that you have like that and you're committed to yourself, the more greatness that you can create.
Yeah.
In whatever aspect,
I'm dropping fucking gems here, bro. Yeah. You're like this, like a little fucking djembe ahí, No, but it's amazing. What are you most excited about right now that you're working on besides that project? Anything else that you're excited about?
About being happy.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like I was saying, I have like this beginning of the year, I've been have like a focus with this new album. It's called Por Amor al Arte.
Okay.
I have love for the game, because I call this little character, the ghost that I paint a lot, love. So it has a lot to do with him, and this is a fully on album that I made for myself. The last one was a therapy of my life, was like me breaking that cocoon, and this has been like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting rock album that I'm very excited about it, and I'm right now starting to rehearse with a new band, so getting in that, whole musical space, which I fucking love, it's exciting, and on the finished touches of this big project, with Billboard that I was saying too, and then I have Band-Aid Gallery, which is inside the whole project that we have with my partners from Nido, with the city of Miami, with the Madness, the Art for All movement that we have, which it's another podcast by itself, but that whole movement that we have and how we're building a very interesting and nourishing ecosystem here in Miami to create bridges, and through art, be able to heal, align, and create business, create cost of opportunity while we generate some social impact here in Miami. So it's a lot of generalities that I'm saying, but it's a very interesting, project that it has my full heart. So those are three like pillars right now in this beginning of the year that I've been super excited working. Then I have 20,000 different projects back to my ADHD,
You got, I see that, man. You're working with so many people. Anybody that like folks should be like looking out for in terms of talent, that you're like, fuck, bro, this person is amazing. You need to like watch out for them. Like,
bro, like, good call. Everything that I do, all the great things that you may see around me, that I see and I consider great things that I do, it's not I do.
It's a team,
There's a big we.
Yeah.
Yes. I may paint, no one moves that. I may sing or write or do blah, blah. But everything that I do, like I was saying with Nida, with my partners, with this, and I'm probably, I will say them, because I have a lot of talented people, producers, these, that, but for some reasons I didn't talk too much about that. But what what we are doing collectively, with
Yeah.
this art for all movement that I said, that there's talent there because, it's like these. I've been working with them for the last year, and I jump on board to the project that they like gave birth with the city of Miami, and my gallery Band-Aid was born inside their incubator, which is Mad Nest, which was an incubator that helped me create Band-Aid, and now I'm transitioning Band-Aid into become an incubator and residencies for other artists, musical, like visual artists, like create a full-on programs, and while we do that, we generate a lot of different projects with them, with Nido, with the city, with the Art for All movement. And while we do that, we create avenues to generate social impact, such as give back to the community, with every single project that we do. So I don't know if that's, talent, but I guess that's
that
greatness.
is. Yeah, facts.
That's greatness. So if there's one thing or one group of people, because it's the community in the end, it's Art for All, that I want to highlight, it's that. So I guess the talent, it's the community. It's not one specific person, but it's that community that I am part of, that I've been nurturing and trying to also be an ambassador for and push that community where, us talking right now and through this, you're part of too, So, which that is, So talent, greatness and stuff that I want to highlight it's that, because the biggest stuff that we build, it's like that. It's in community.
Yeah.
I may be all of these and create all of these, but for example, now you're creating another access and avenue for other people to tap into that, So this comes from this community.
Yeah.
And so on. So that connection, those connections, and the way of doing things like that, collaboratively. En colaboración.
En colaboración. There you go.
It's bilingual, baby.
That's right, baby.
Try políglota sería en español.
Yeah.
So, anyways, community.
Yeah.
So I want to highlight Art for All. If we made it as a person, but that's the community, and yeah.
I have a handle and everything. Like there's properties for it.
Hashtag Art for All.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Nido. It's my partners.
Yeah.
Which I have Band-Aid Gallery, which is my gallery that you've been. Close by here, which is inside the Mad Nest in the Midtown Art District. So there's Band-Aid, and then there is Nido. That's the two properties, and this whole project, this is a property. This movement and this community is bigger than the property, is bigger than the handle, is bigger. It's again, it's a community. It's a movement. But yeah, Nido.us is the gram of my partners, and Band-Aid is Band-Aid Art Gallery or Band-Aid Gallery? It's my handle. I don't remember.
That's fine.
But I'm
we'll find it.
Mine. You can find it.
We'll find it. No, but what's cool? Like as you were saying it, I'm doing like a full circle into the story that you were mentioning before, which is like about your mentor and the inspiration you had in Argentina with your teacher and your art teacher, right, and everything, and that you're essentially building the same thing now. Fast forward, now in this area in Miami, building that community, like it's fucking cool to see that shit, man. It's really cool.
Thank you, brother.
You know what I mean? But listen, man, this was awesome. I love the conversation. I feel like there's a lot of things I learned, because I think that the whole story of everything happening and growing up in Argentina, it really kind of makes total sense of who you are right now, because it sets the stage on one, the artist you've become, the branding and the business that you're building, because essentially the blueprint was there, and you've inspired from that, and really the secret in terms of happiness, because I honestly, like, it applies across anyone, any theme, anything. It's just like
absolutely
being yourself, doing things for yourself. That is the fucking secret for being happy, man. That is what,
to me, that's what I think, and again, I'm also evolving. I'm a work in progress, so don't ever think that I'm not talking from no altar. I'm not talking from I have shit in life figured out, because I said no one has that figured out. No, I think probably I will die without figure it out.
No one, yeah.
But so it's evolved, but it's also acknowledging that, acknowledging that this is like my take on happiness right now, and I'm living by it, which means that at the present moment, I can be or have as many happy moments as I can, because in the end, also happiness are moments. It's not a flow state.
100%.
It's like life. It's moments, and we need to cherish those.
100%.
So I try to collect as many happy moments as I can, and I think like being the current picture of everything that we have talked today. I try to live my present in that sense, which makes me collect as many happy moments as I can. What happiness may be in the future for me, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I will still try to collect those then as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a journey. I look at it like this. I'm a big believer in like kind of yin yang energy, because you can only know what it is to be happy when you've lived the other opposite parts, so you can tell the
100%.
difference. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from life and experiences. And in the end of the day, as long as we're living and experiencing life, that's what brings all these other things, man. But bro, thank you so much, man. EXti for everyone. We'll show handles, we'll do all that good stuff. But really, man, I appreciate you doing this with me.
Thank you,
all right, brother.
It was long overdue.
Yeah, man.
And I'm very glad to, like, this is like also a full circle for me as well, and being able to share the stuff, because it's also like powerful for me, for someone that at different stages, even because it's also cool that you've been here and there in specific times and moments, right?
Yeah.
Because you get to see like little clips of that evolution, and I'm glad to be able to share that insight behind it,
Yeah.
to paint a little bit more of a full picture.
Yeah, it's. I think it was a full picture, and I mean, it just really highlights exactly how and why you are who you are, man. And it's beautiful, and I think it's great and it's an inspiration for people. You know what I mean? So thank you, man. All right, boss.
Thank you.